Lately, I've been getting a lot of questions from watermelon farmers and also people who are interested in venturing into watermelon. And of course, one of the most commonly asked questions has been about the cost of growing watermelon. A few people have been reaching out on comment section. Some actually called me. Some sent me a message on WhatsApp and they want to know the cost of growing an acre of watermelon, especially here in the northern part of Uganda. Uh, Today, this video right here is dedicated to answering your question, and I'm going to specifically talk about how much you really need to have to grow melon from beginning until harvest. I'm standing in one of the watermelon projects that I'm currently working on right here in Gulu district. And this melon right here, if you've been following me on YouTube, today marks day 30. And of course, if you already know or if you don't know, most of the melon varieties that we grow usually takes around 75 days to 85 days or some to 80 days and they would be ready for harvest. Of course, there's a lot of varieties you can think of, which if you're following me, you're going to learn about it. Now, let's start by answering your question about growing melon in the northern part of Uganda. How much do you really need to have? Because I understand some people are not in the country right now. Some people are maybe working in the city and they don't have time to be going like to the farm or to go up country. Of course, I understand it would be costly. So they want to know how much it would cost so that they can maybe work with someone they trust, something like that. So if you want to grow watermelon, the first thing, of course, not even melon, if you want to do farming, crops farming, the first thing you need to have is the garden or the land. It could be that you have your land that you own it, maybe you bought it, maybe it's a family land, or if you don't have it that way, you can just hire it or you can just lease it. In every part of Uganda, it's easy to lease the land. You just identify the type of land you want, you make some agreement with the owner, and then you lease it for a specific period of time. In the northern part of Uganda, if you want 1 acre, it's around 100,000 per season. Some people would maybe say 150,000 per season. It really depends on the location because every community have their rates and it varies from one community to another. But at least you should prepare between 100,000 to at least 120 to hire 1 acre piece of land for one season. Now you've already acquired your land. What is the next step? You have to start preparing your garden. Garden preparation in any crops farming is very crucial. So you can prepare your garden either by hiring a tractor, which of course in most cases is very fast, or you can use ox plow, or you can just use manual labor whereby people in the community comes with their hoe and then they measure and then they can dig the garden for you. So you've now acquired your land, you've prepared it. How many times are you supposed to prepare? In most cases, I recommend that you do your plowing 2 times. First plowing, you can do it, then give some time to your garden to cool. So you can give it like maybe 2 or 3 weeks or even 4 weeks. Then after that, you can come and do the second plowing. In most cases, when you do the second plowing, the garden will be very ready. And after just few days, you can start planting. How much is plowing? In most cases, you can plow, tractors can plow 1 acre at 100,000. Some people do at 120. So it usually ranges around there. So thirdly is buying the seed. There's a lot of varieties of melon that we have in the market right now. We have varieties like Tiger F1, varieties like Yash F1, varieties like Sukar F1, which is the one that I've planted here. There's varieties like Ferrari, among others. So you can choose. So, but usually to plant 1 acre, you'll probably need around 500 grams. So then you plant it. So sometimes it can even be less than that, but depending on the variety, I mean the spacing that you're using, at least 500 grams should be enough. 500 grams, depending on where you're buying it from, can range around 350 to maybe 400,000 Uganda shilling. And then after that, planting planting is usually around, some people do it 1 acre at 90,000, some people do it at 100,000, some people do it at 120. But we can first put a budget of 100,000 for planting. After planting, what next? Obviously, you're going to do the weeding. Weeding also 1 acre in my community, people do it at 90,000 per acre. Some people do it at 100,000 per acre. Some would also probably do maybe around 120, because in the community of northern Uganda there is what is called Katala, where they just measure, so it will always vary. So weeding, you're of course going to weed your melon twice. This garden right here that you're seeing, I've already done the first weeding. That was about a week ago, but I'm still going to do the second weeding. So you'd always want to do the weeding twice. So another one, we are dealing with melon. Of course, this is hybrid varieties. This is something that you need to spray. So you're going to have a budget for insecticide, you're going to have a budget for fertilizer, you're going to have a budget for fungicide. So all these should probably cost you around 450 to maybe 500,000 Uganda shilling, because there's a lot of fertilizers that you spray from every stage to every stage. For example, at the vegetative stage, usually that is the first week of germination to like the third week, that is the vegetative stage. Usually then the fourth week, the melon will start flowering and they start now bringing some small fruit. So you can switch also the fertilizer. So in other words, all those things you'll need around 500,000 Uganda shilling. It's also a good idea to do the mulching. You'll probably need to buy grass or talk to the people in the community to get the grass for you. And then, yeah, that depending on the agreement, maybe they can do it at 100,000 or they can do at 150 or maybe 200,000 around there. So basically, those are the things that you will need so that you can produce a very healthy and good fruits that you can sell. So please note that melon takes around 75 to 80 or 85 days, like I've told you, depending on the variety. So you'll have to be monitor it at least for a period of 2 to 3 months. So you have to be monitoring it. And in other words, if you've been doing the calculation to produce 1 acre of quality and healthy watermelon in Uganda or in the northern part of Uganda, you will need to have around 1.9 to 2 million Uganda shilling. There's a lot of miscellaneous costs that will also be involved that of course I've not mentioned. you, of course, I said you will be spraying your garden. So one, you're going to need a knapsack sprayer. uh, Maybe you can buy a 16 liter or a 20 liters sprayer that usually cost around 85,000 maybe to 90,000, depending on where you're buying it from, and also depending on the type of sprayer you're buying. And then you'll probably need to buy things like gum boots. You're going to also, involve like other costs like transportation. Another thing that I've not mentioned, when you're planting the seed, you buy it together with the fertilizer for planting. Usually for planting, you buy a fertilizer called DAP. It's DAP, that is diammonium phosphate. It helps with root development and the growth, like when you plant your watermelon. So fertilizer costs around 180,000 to around 200,000, depending on where you're buying it from. You can as well think of top dressing it. Uh, that if you have enough resources, you can top dress with fertilizer like CAN and also NPK. So if you are thinking of growing watermelon, especially in the northern part of Uganda or in any part of Uganda, and you want a detailed breakdown, I can share with you a PDF form where I've done a comprehensive cost and then the calculation for you and the estimation for you. So feel free to reach out to me, or if you have consultation, you want to know more about how to grow watermelon in Uganda, which variety to grow, maybe any other information you want to know, just feel free to reach out and I will be more than happy to help you. Please note that I try my best to provide free information, 100% free information right here. So if you reach out to me, I'm always busy in the farm and also running other things. Of course, I may be able to charge you some small amount depending on the service that you want me to offer to you. Otherwise, my name is Charles Layo and I am the Ugandan farmer. I'm here to share farming knowledge, practical farming guide to farmers in Uganda and across Africa. So if my video has blessed you in any way, or if you've learned something, feel free to support this journey, and yeah, together we can grow. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.